Hello and welcome back to Ask Gypsy Jean. I'm Jean, and today we're going to make a witches or spell bottle or jar. I'm going to be doing self-love in this jar because every human being on the planet really needs self-love, and I think it would sort out a lot of our problems if we love and respected ourselves. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to think on it. Have a conversation with yourself and have a conversation with whatever your divine creator may be or great spirit influence. If you want to make a jar for an intention, yourself or another person, before you start it, you need to take care of yourself. Dress or wear jewelry or crystals in your pocket that are designed or intended to help you with your magical workings. Your intention is the most powerful thing regardless of your ingredients. So if your intentions are set, your mind is right, you're dressed for success, then we can start, okay? So whatever clothes you put on that would represent the magical working you're about to do, whatever jewelry and so on. Okay, so I'm going to assume you've already done all that. And if this jar is meant for someone else or a purpose, if it's a human being, a dog, whatever, if it's another living creature, it's best to have a photograph or a nail trimming or a piece of jewelry, a scrap of cloth, whatever might belong to that person, okay? I was going to cut a piece of my hair and I forgot because this is going to be a self-love jar for me. So, you know, if you give a little tiny drop of blood or you actually pull out, a piece of your hair when you're doing it on yourself has more power because this is basically symbolic of a self-sacrifice. And pulling hair out is not fun, so there's a little bit of pain to go with your progress, okay? Oh man, that is not fun. So, never got hair when it always falls out. You always got to pull it out for this kind of stuff. Isn't that funny? All right, so this will be a self-love jar. Where is my marker? Okay. Marker didn't make it out on this trip. We're going to first, I need you to design the jar. Paint it. Use permanent marker and write on it. If you just use permanent marker to write on it, cover it with clear tape. Decorate it however you want. Hot glue crystals on it. Do it up just right how you think it should be done for this particular intention. So I'm going to draw, since I didn't bring my marker out for some reason. Inside I'm going to do like the hand or Hamasa, or the hand of God, of the god, or hand of the goddess, right? And you can't see it because this pen is not meant for this. Okay, so it's the hand of the goddess, and it has the all-seeing or the eye of God. That's going to be in my jar. All right, and then on the outside I'm going to do an eternity symbol, and then I'm going to do that with a heart in the middle. Okay, and this is eternal love, grateful, respect, and gratitude. And I don't think you can see it, but anyway. And then we've got that. And most of mine I will paint sigils. I have a protective rune that I draw that goes on pretty much all of my spell work. It looks similar to that. Okay, so we have our runes and our design intentions on the lid. We're going to take the jar of whatever kind of incense, holy or sacred herb that you like. Smoke out the jar, and every step you take, and I probably just dumped all the hair back out. You're going to cleanse and purify this jar. Set your intention for it. This will be the vessel to hold this magical working. It has no attachments or impurities left on it or in it. And it will be a divine container for this particular magic workings. Okay, so we got that. The jar is ready. Do the lid if you want. Same thing. You will be a magical vessel to contain these magical workings. There are no impurities or attachments to you. You will be programmed with my intentions only. All right, so we got that. Now, if you have access to or can make moon water, holy water, or holy oils, please see the video underneath of instruction on how to make moon water, or holy oils. That is great because that'll be the body of your jar, okay? If you don't have access to rainwater, or you can get tap water, heavily salted with table salt, just to keep the water from turning gross. Honestly, salt is also seen as a metaphysical representation of purity and earth, salt of the earth. Okay, so my jars got crystals in them already. This is holy water. And then we're going to do things. Your ingredients need to focus on the intention that you're making. I have rose petals, dried rose petals, and a dried flower that was given to me by my lover. Okay, my own rosemary. I have a blackberry flower that's been growing on my property that is for prosperity, for being fruitful. The petals have fallen off because it's delicate, and I have the petals. Rose quartz for self-love. I've picked the background cloth pink so that it's a reflective of love. Set your environment, set your table. Make sure it's a space for you to do and pay attention to this particular working, okay? So you use colors, stones, crystals, plants, whatever you have that you can find that will embody what your intention is. Amethyst is a great heal-all. Selenite to keep the party going. And then I've got red tiger's eye to always being grounded. Wealth, prosperity, success for pyrite. I've got ashes of sacred herbs that I smoke. It's a part of my jar. So this will always be, this is another plentiful prosperity, wealth, healthiness. I have flowers that grow on my property. This is amaryllis lily that I'm going to stick in the jar. Then we've got shredded money, black salt, rose oil, because roses are my jam, and it's also a scent and a flower that is associated with love. Then I've made myself a candle to go on top. And you don't have to do the candle if you don't want to. That's strictly up to you. Mine will go on top, and then when I will light it and focus it, and then my third eye will be fed by the flame, and it will help continually to power and refresh this jar of your intention. Now, if it's a protection spell, or if it's a repel spell, or if it's meant for someone else, you're trying to keep the F away from you, it will be a black candle, okay? I made this one with beeswax and virgin coconut oil, and it's got roses on it. You can buy the molds cheap online. Excuse me. You can use soy wax. I don't like using regular scented or store-bought candles because they have chemicals in it that can actually hurt you, and I'm living proof of that. And then if you would like to have a sacred god or goddess effigy to call in the divine effluence of this working, this is a sculpture I made. It's a goddess, Earth Mother sculpture. She embodies Mother Earth and the female aspect of our divinity, and the female aspect all through nature. Even if you're an atheist, you know, that's fine too. Okay? Then, right before you start your jar, you're going to gather all your ingredients, things that you think relate to or will amplify the intention and the use for this. Now, if you smoke sacred herbs or tobacco while you're doing it, that is awesome, because you can blow that smoke onto your particular jar and in it as well. That is a very important. So that's great. I mean, I'm not trying to boost smoking of any kind, but that is a lot of part of the spiritual realms of smoking, and then using the breath, which is also the air. All right, so now you're going to take you every item on this table, including my pen and paper, have been blessed, consecrated, and charged with my intention. This pen was crafted and given to me, so it's a magical witch working pen that I use only on my magical writing. That is the only thing it is used, because it is a magical tool to me. So you take your pen, and there's a customary way that you do it. Most people will do this kind of over and over circle with whatever their intentions would be, writing your name, writing the intention without lifting the pen, or in a square, right? And then it repeats. I'm not good at that, and it's a pain in the butt for me to do it. So you just write down the person or thing's name that you're focusing on, the wishes that you have for this jar, your intentions, a piece of whatever it is if it's not for you, and then throw this in the jar, okay? So I'm going to start with this as my base. This is my intentions. This is my name. This is what I want to manifest in this jar. Okay, we've got the hair in there. We've got your written intentions and the name and specified target. I'm trying to pull out some more because I think I dumped it. Okay, I'm going to stick that in there. And be careful when you drop crystals. I suggest getting mason jars. The best way to do that is to either buy a flat if you want to. I don't. I actually go to farmers markets and purchase handcrafted items that come in these. So you're not only paying the price for that person's craftsmanship and well-being, ultimately for you, you're paying for an awesome mason jar who handles hot and cold heat transition and are very tough. So we're going to be sliding in our crystals. There's my prosperity. There's my health, wealth, well-being, independence. There's my grounding. Keep that party started. Self-love. Okay. Now, if you want to get little chips to do it, that's fine too. Now we're going to stick in our flowers. This poor thing's had a rough day. I'm going to put my lily in there. Red lily. Red, because this is self-love. So this beautiful thing that I'm sacrificing here. And another thing I want to mention, if you're putting plants in here, if you haven't already, bless them and given them thanks, please do. Say thank you for your time and attention and your sacrifice for this jar. I appreciate your life, and I appreciate your sacrifice, and I appreciate your energy. Thank you, Mother Earth, etc. and so on. So we put our rosemary. We're going to put our roses and flowers in there. And our little blackberry. And get fruitful, right? Stick it down in there. Okay, so we've got our crystals, we have our flowers, all with a set intention of what they're going to accomplish, right? And I love flowers. That's my jam. Here is ashes of my sacred tobacco that I smoke. We're going to throw some money in that sucker because if I'm prosperous, everyone else around me is prosperous too. So that's for everyone else. Health, wealth, well-being, money flows to me. Money flows to me like a river. Money flows to me. And speak to it. Speak your intentions. Speak in it. Okay? If you want to use a wand or a directional or an energy conduit of some kind, that's fine. Here's my selenite wand. You can just use your hand. You can just speak into it. So we're going to do our wand. I charge this jar and all the ingredients inside to make a combination for my support of health, wealth, well-being, self-love, respect, and for complete and total independence to take care of myself as so long as I live in this body. Thank you, God. Thank you, Goddess. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you for the herbs and plants that have been a part of this spell making, and thank you for the crystals. So I speak it, so it shall be. Speak into it if you like. If you don't have that, speak your intentions into it. With my breath and with my words, I wish my will to be. You will create and draw to me wealth, success, money, health, independence, being grounded, and happiness for as long as I inhabit this meat suit. If you want to put your incense stick in there, throw that in there. We're going to throw them ashes in there too. Okay? So we have crystals, we have flowers. We have our goddess witnessing this. Thank you, goddess, for witnessing my workings today. May your blessings be upon it. And so as I speak it, so it shall be. We want to give a little bit of this oil that I've set aside for me. And then I'm going to put the intentions of that in there. We're going to do the black salt protection so that no one shall break, curse, interfere, or otherwise influence this jar and this magical working from its path. Okay? So we got all that. The last thing you want to put in there, you want all your ingredients to go in here first, okay? Because it's going to get full. I had a smaller jar to demonstrate with, but it was too small to even fit the flour in. So I had to get a bigger one. Then you're going to use your holy water or holy oil or tap water that you've blessed and prayed over. Or oil that you've blessed and prayed over. Whatever you need to be. This is the body. This is connective tissue. This is what keeps all this together and brings them together in harmony. And so this is the body of your... And also, we've got all the elements in there. We got earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, right? And you want this sucker to be as close to the lid as possible. You want to try not to have any air in it whatsoever. We're going to put this sucker together. And then you can gently, because you don't want to break your glass with your crystals, you can mix them around. And as much time and energy, decoration, and focus you put on this, the more powerful it will be. I'm also going to add honey, and I forgot to bring those two in. I'm going to add honey, and I'm going to add agave nectar for sweetness because I failed to bring them out today. But things like that, foods, berries, all have a place in here. So honey will be long-lasting sweetness. Agave nectar will be fast-acting, so it's going to be dual layer. Usually once you close your jar, you're done. But for teaching purposes and, it's up to you. But I'm going to open it and add those ingredients because those are important to me. Okay, so we're going to mix this around and we're going to say you're going to have honey and agave and nectar, probably maybe even white cane sugar, brown sugar, whatever kind of sweet thing you want to do if you want it to be a sweet jar. Now, if you want it to be a sour jar or something completely different, urine, your own urine, totally is like a huge sledgehammer on any working you're doing. Or vinegar. Okay, so if you're going to go completely opposite of the sweet jar, you're going to do vinegar or you're going to do your own urine. Sounds gross, but it works. I've got a story about that. All right, so here's my jar. We're going to set this candle on top of this sucker for demonstration purposes. And when I make mine, I do usually a double, like a small wick at the bottom so I can light it and then melt it for whatever it's going to be on. Okay, so and there you go. And there's you a spell or witch bottle. Set that sucker on your altar. Sit it in front of your god or goddess or your Mother Earth or in the dirt or whatever. And sit it there for this intention. And you say, mine's examples, the goddess, and then a female effigy of earth energy. Earth energy and Mother Goddess, please watch over and bless this jar. May its magical workings be powerful and under your watchful eye. Now it's story time. So, when I bought this property many years ago, it was just, I'm out in the woods. If you can't tell, I literally live in the woods. And I have no idea what I look like, so I probably look like crazy, but I live in the woods. Okay? This is pretty much my deal. So I purchased this property many years ago. There's only like one or two living off, and we have neighbors, but we have to go down our really long driveways to actually maybe by chance catch each other at the mailbox. And the real estate agent that was in control of this at the time was a worm or a dung beetle or just slug, bog monster, whatever. He was cheating and ripping people off so bad. So bad, y'all. So he started actually buying property out here. One of them happened to be close to me. I'm not going to give exacts because it's been a long time, but I don't want none of this coming back on me. So I did, and he kept harassing people that were out here trying to get us to build or make a homeowners association. And we're like, no, man, we just moved into the woods to be peaceful, right? So I took a glass jar and I did a witch jar. In the witch jar, it had his name. I think an article with his picture in it from the paper. I peed in it and I put menstrual blood in it. It was shards of glass, broken mirror, really sharp tacks and nails, razor blades, and vinegar. I shook that sucker up and put all my FU energy in it and get the F out of here. No, like I did the love jar, but and I buried it on his property. poof, he's gone. He ain't bothered us since. I don't know if he just fell off the planet, disappeared, passed on to, dropped his meat suit and passed on to the other side back to our home or whatever. But he left us alone after that. So there's an example of what you can do for that kind of thing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate y'all coming by. Have a lovely day. Bye.